Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Build Your Copywriting Business podcast. Hey there, Kate.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. And I'm noticing my voice still sounds just a little bit funky because I'm
Coming out of it.
coming back from losing it completely. So bear with us. But we wanted to get in and record this episode right away because it's a question that is very popular among students and among people who are interested in getting into copywriting. And that question specifically is what are the best backgrounds to have to get into copywriting? Which I think by extension, the question really is, do I have the right background to be getting into copywriting? Which certainly understand the question. Absolutely. You don't want to get into it only to discover that you have the wrong background. God forbid.
Good news. That won't be the case. Yay!
Yay!
There are certainly commonalities, maybe, and maybe some traits that are shared by copywriters of all kinds. But I mean, we've seen and we've had almost or over 10,000 students in the Comprehensive Copywriting Academy at this point. And let us tell you, there are some common groups maybe of people that have a shared background, shared experience, but there's name a career, name a background, name an experience, and you'll find someone with something similar, or, just everyone has their own unique experience that they bring to the table, and that's a good thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. We have groups of teachers, we have groups of nurses, we have groups of um, all kinds of different people, but we do see a larger percentage. But at the same time, too, we have people who were in the military. We have people who've been stay-at-home parents. We have people who have
Truck driving,
truck
food
driving.
service, retail, law. I know there's social
Mm-hmm.
workers, which is kind of fun when legal or related questions come up.
Yes.
So yeah, there's a wide variety.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things people always wonder too, are, how many people you have to have a marketing background, or, someone with PR has got a leg up, or social media manager, or a content writer, which there are, people who've done content writing. But the commonality with every single person, myself included, when I first learned copywriting, I came from an editorial content, copy editing background that did not give me a leg up per se by any means. Sure, is my copy cleaner than the average person's? Maybe, because I had the copy editing background, but it's such a different part of your brain that you use. And I, like everyone else, started with no understanding of what copywriting was, or the
Mm-hmm.
fundamentals of copywriting and how to write copy. So we're all starting from that same place of not knowing what we don't know.
Yeah. Well, nobody's born knowing how to write copy, right? And yes, now if you have a background in marketing, is that going to help? Yeah. It'll make things a little bit easier. But if you don't have a background in marketing, you're going to learn as you learn about writing copy and as you work with your clients, and you're going to learn this stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
it's not a prerequisite by any means. And people say, well, I don't know, I haven't learned anything about copy yet. No problem. The vast majority of people who get started with us and then who go on to have fantastic copywriting careers have no background in copywriting. And part of the reason for that, and part of the reason that I started this business, is because there aren't copywriting training programs. You can't major in copywriting in college.
Oh.
Again, thank goodness for this business, or I should say, the benefits our business. But also, we're certainly a lot cheaper than a college degree.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still skills that you have to acquire, and it's just like any other set of skills. You can't possibly know them until you learn them. So everybody that comes in starts out in the same place, and if you have a background that is Anything other than copywriting, right? Anything other than marketing. It's the only thing that it's going to do is just give you a slightly different perspective wherever you came from and whatever your experiences have been. And we talk about this with our students in creating their USPs, their unique selling points or proposition. Your background made you who you are and gives you your unique perspective on the world. And having a unique perspective, or even just a slightly different perspective, only makes you a better and more valuable copywriter.
Yeah, absolutely. And along with this, I think people think about, degrees. Do I need a college degree to be a copywriter? And the answer is no, absolutely not. You don't need any sort of degree. If you have one, great. Obviously, yay, education. It's not certainly not a bad thing by any means. And while there are copywriters, yes, maybe people who got some sort of communications degree or liberal arts degree. To Nikki's point, there is no degree in copywriting, and even people who have gone to school for marketing may not have even taken anything related to copywriting, or maybe they touched on it in one class of one course throughout their 4 years or whatever it is. That's not, as anyone knows in the CCA, there's a lot more to it than just, a copywriter writes words. There's understanding features versus benefits. There's understanding a clear, concise call to action. There's understanding your audience and knowing how to write a creative brief and knowing how to concept and then outline your piece and then write, and all
Mhm.
the stages that go into a project and how to interface with clients and those interactions that you're not going to learn even if you did take a class on specifically writing copy. How do you handle the professional communications with your clients? How do you get clients? How do you put together a portfolio? All of these questions that are, forgotten by a lot of people that need to happen and need, we don't, how do we know how to do that until we do it or someone teaches us how to do it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, and it's all part of the learning process. And I think too, when we think about, well, do I need a degree or what's my background, what's my education? It's copywriting, and I cannot emphasize this enough. Copywriting is a merit based career. If you write great copy, and you can absolutely learn how to write great copy with people learning every single day. If you can write great copy, people will hire you to write copy. They don't care about whether you have a degree or not. They don't care if you came from social work or if you came from if you were a trapeze artist. They don't care about your age, they don't care about your gender, they don't care about any of that stuff. Race, religion, creed, nobody cares. If you can write great copy and then you demonstrate, then this is all things that you can learn. Demonstrate that on your portfolio so that they see that you have the ability to write in different voices for different types of clients. They will hire you. It's you just need to learn, dive in and learn how to do it. But so pursuant to that, do you have you don't need to have a specific background, but there are some traits that will help you to be a better copywriter.
Yeah, and we'll dig into a few of those and definitely check out in the show notes, or if you're watching on YouTube, in the description for an entire episode we did on all of the traits that are shared by copywriters. But
Mhm.
I think the biggest and most important is that you have to like to write to
Yeah.
some extent. You have to enjoy words. If you don't, then maybe it's not the right career path for you.
Yeah. And I think too, you have to be open to learning, because like we said, you're not going to, and I think it's funny, as adults it can be a shock. Intellectually we can say, oh yeah, absolutely, I know that I don't know this, so I'm going to learn. And then you start to do it and you go, oh, but I don't actually know how to do this. I'm not instantly perfect at it. It can be a little bit of a surprise. And I know that sounds silly, but I swear it happens all the time. Um, but being open and willing to learn, and then also being willing to get outside of your comfort zone, because it's going to be a little uncomfortable to learn something new. It's going to be a little uncomfortable to reach out to potential clients. But it's also, the more that you do something outside of your comfort zone, the more your comfort zone expands.
Yeah, and related to that, and is persistence and just continuing to do what you know what it is that you need to do to get where you want to go. But that advice goes for any career or any goal that you have, whether it's you're pursuing copywriting, you're trying to learn how to knit a sweater, you're trying to learn how to ride a bike, whatever it is, you might not do it the first time. And I think that goes back to what Nikki was saying about as adults learning something new. We're not used to being bad at something necessarily, or just not being able to just do it right away and, hey, we did it. So the more that you can remind yourself that it might not be easy. It might not be, I don't want to even put the word hard. It's just a challenge. You're just out of your comfort zone. You're just not perfect right away. And frankly, none of us ever are or will be. So reminding ourselves, hey, I want this. Why am I doing this? And continuing to take the action, then you're going to get where you want to go. But if the second that we always talk about, there's no such thing as failure, really. There's stopping, really, and saying, oh, this was too hard. I'm done. Okay, you didn't fail. You just stopped trying.
Too hard or too scary. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, lean in, kids. I'm about to give you the big secret to success. It's like Kate was saying, it's there are two things: consistency and persistence. No matter what you are pursuing, and obviously copywriting is no different, but dig in, do the work and keep doing the work, and you will absolutely get to where you want to go. And if you are not someone who naturally has consistency and persistence, are you willing to cultivate it? Are you willing to, and our students will know, we coach you about how to develop those skills, and we talk about putting the time on the calendar, and we talk about breaking things up into bite-sized chunks if you just can't get into it, and we talk about all this stuff. But you have to do the work. You have to take action, because it's not just going to happen for you without taking action.
Yeah, and I think, if your goal is to become a copywriter, and presumably you're listening to this, you're interested in copywriting, then your first step is to get training in copywriting. Of course, you don't have a background in copywriting until you give yourself a background in copywriting, and that requires training. It requires learning the principles of how to write copy. It requires then practicing writing copy and getting feedback on your work, and then incorporating that feedback. It's not like we can just call ourselves copywriters, start writing and say, yep, this is copy, because we don't have then the knowledge and the strategy behind what we're doing. It'd be like walking into an aircraft and having the pilot show you around the cockpit and saying, okay, now I'm qualified to fly a plane. Not the same, right? We need training for a lot of different careers, and copywriting is no different. And so if you're feeling like you need a certain background, not at all, but you can give yourself the background that you need, just like you would with any other career.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I really like that concept of you giving yourself a background in copy, because yes, I've done this for 20 years. My background is in copy, but even every single person, I know that I say this, and people are like, well, yeah, yeah, but it's really important to understand that nobody is born knowing how to do this. Nobody's born knowing how to do anything. It's something that you learn, but you can learn it, and your background doesn't matter. Nothing except you being willing to learn, and to be consistent and persistent, and to hone your skills, and being willing to, yes, some things are going to come to you very easily, and some things you're going to find a little bit more challenging, but to be willing to keep doing all of that anyway. Those are those are the traits that are going to make you successful as a copywriter. That's just, stick with it. Our students know you have literally every single tool, every single step you need to get from knowing absolutely nothing about copywriting to making, if this is your goal, to making six figures as a copywriter. You have literally all of those steps and all of the support that you need. But you have to actually do, you have to, we can give you those steps, we can give you that support, and we do, but you have to actually take those steps and reach out when you need help, and reach out when you have questions, and all of that kind of thing. But you have to take the steps. That's all you need a background in, is a background in being willing to take the steps. So We hope that if you are someone who's thinking, well, I don't know, I don't have the right background, or I don't have this expertise. Well, great.
Great.
You're starting out in the exact same place that literally every single successful
Yeah.
copywriter started out, not knowing anything about copywriting. So if you are in that place, you are in the exact right place. So welcome. And of course, with that, we will catch you guys in the next episode. Bye, everybody. Like what you heard? Hit subscribe so you never miss a video. And if you're ready to take the first step toward becoming a copywriter yourself, sign up for our free video training right here.